Remember in corporate America, they used to do 360s. You're getting input from people all around you.
Okay.
Right. So you're getting input from your subordinates, you're getting input from your boss, you're getting input from your coworkers, right? So it's a 360 view of you and what you bring to the table. But in corporate America, it's designed to create a plan. But do a 360 with your friends and be like, what am I really good at? Like when you think of X, like you need X done or X accomplished, and my name comes up, what is that? Because I don't think we see our value. And so it's really hard to start something if you don't think you're valuable.
What if the best chapter of your life hasn't even begun yet? What lies within you is the power to live brighter, bolder, and truer than ever before. So welcome to Vivatude, where caregiving, connections, and career come into balance, and where your vitality, vision, and voice shines through. Because the revolution isn't out there, it's already within you. Welcome to Vivatude.
Welcome back to Vivatude. This is Kate Phillips with Total Wealth and also a co-host here on Vivatude, where we are speaking to women in their 40s, 50s, 60s who are looking to thrive and prosper, live a life of meaning, while oftentimes juggling caregiving for loved ones and the challenges that come up. Jan just shared her story of caregiving her mom while she was launching a nonprofit, Paving the Way, whose mission is to disrupt the cycle of child trafficking. Now, especially back in 2013 when you decided to launch this, well, I'm saying especially back then, at any point in time, nobody is going to confuse this mission with, wow, sounds like a really lucrative line of business, Jan. So you walked away from a corporate job, and I want to hear about whatever you're willing to share, some of the financial challenges. I mean, you had no salary, there was no budget or fund. How did you manage that, both financially and also there's like this mindset thing of like, what are you doing? Like, how are you going to support yourself?
Yeah, yeah. So my sole answer is God, because it's my only and I mean that seriously, my only explanation, right? So um I- 30 years ago, my mom told me to put money in my 401k. And I did. I got mad about it, but I did. That is what helped me launch my program, right? So, when I left corporate America, I was highly sought after, and I was very clear that system's not designed for people like me. I am non-compliant. I'll say it right here. I'm non-compliant. I am like a thoroughbred. You got to leave me alone, let me do my thing, and I will overperform for you. But the moment you attempt to shut that gate around me, I'm out. It's just how I'm bred. And and when I realized, I had given my heart and my soul to this organization and they didn't care. That's when I kind of like woke up to, oh, I'm just a number. Great, got it. I was devastated. I was devastated.
Mhm.
And but I also knew I was really good at what I did. And so, I created a couple of other companies because what I didn't realize while I was in the corporate environment, almost every single job I'd had was a startup job.
Mm.
Every job, opening a new territory, starting a new line item, every single job. So I was actually made to be an entrepreneur and didn't even know about it, but I had the parachute of being inside a corporate environment. And so starting something was not fearful for me. I'd done that before, and I've done it successfully 6 times. I had 6 different jobs in 18 years when I worked for the corporate company, right? So I'm good at
Mhm.
starting stuff. So that I had
Opening
no
up new
fear of it.
markets. You
Yeah.
mentioned that in our first segment. You
Yeah.
found, Walmart. You sold a new product to
Yeah.
Walmart in
So
a matter of months.
yeah, so it's not and even in the entrepreneurial space, you've got to have somebody that values your skill set. And that I think is probably the biggest piece for anyone, women in particular, is we have skill sets we don't even know about. because we're
Mm,
so hard on ourselves. We're so critical of ourselves. The world does not call for us to be successful. It really
mm,
doesn't. It's threatening to people. It's threatening to other women and it's threatening to men. And why it's threatening to women really upsets me because it's hard enough to be a woman. It is hard enough. I've been mansplained so many times the past several years. And it's imperative that we work together and you find your right tribe that will be straight enough with you to be like, Jan, I need you to think about that idea, to I love it, let's go do it, and everything in between, right?
mm,
And so I think the back to the determination we talked about. This is what I'm bred to do, is to start things and to maintain them. The moment it gets boring, I have zero interest. And I
mhm.
think for women to really do a valuation, not only a personal valuation, but remember in corporate America, they used to do 360s, but do a 360 with your friends and be like, what am I really good at? Like when you think of X, like you need X done or X accomplished, and my name comes up, what is that thing? So you can get,
Explain a 360. Is
yeah,
that like,
so a 360 is when you're getting input from people all around you.
okay.
Right. So you're getting input from your subordinates, you're getting input from your boss, you're getting input from your coworkers, right? So it's a 360 view of you and what you bring to the table. But in corporate America, it's designed to create a plan. Over here, when you're doing it for yourself, because I don't think we see our value. And so it's really hard to start something if you don't think you're valuable because you've
Sure.
been trained not to be. My CFO and I had a conversation several months ago, and he looks at me, he goes, Jan, he goes, I don't think you get how unique you are. I'm like, okay, right. And he starts to list all these skills. He goes, look, first of all, you're a BD person. You're a business development girl, right? He goes, I'm clear about that. He said, but you're also super creative. He goes, you
Hmm.
designed all this curriculum. You wrote the film. You wrote a book. You wrote, like, you see things from a different point of view and create that you're a problem solver, right? So I had somebody giving me feedback of stuff that I just do.
Hmm.
I don't think of it as a skill set because it's something I just do. So to have people give you the input of, well, what skill set do I have? Let me ask my friend. Let me ask my daughter. Let me ask my husband. There's a new movie out with Michelle Pfeiffer. It's something about being a mom and not being valued and right, whatever. And I'm gonna have to watch that because I think it's on Prime. I'm gonna have to watch that because I think that's so true for women. We're just always there. And we don't understand the value of when we're there, what we bring to the table. And it's a missing if we're not. And then people will be like, oh, I was at my best friend's over the holiday, Thanksgiving holiday, and her boys and another person that was there separately, all four of them separately said, I'm so glad you were here. You bring something, you bring a piece, you bring something to the space. And they couldn't quite find the words to it, but they just knew when I was there, it was different,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
And I know that we met through a community, and I saw you trying, I mean, the community, and this was our friends Iman and Afreen, that they had a kind of an entrepreneurial
Yeah,
community that for a while supported both of us. And I saw you talking about the 360, like you were trying out ideas and
yes.
trying out, you tried working with hotels or with, maybe health people in the
Mhm.
health space who would see
Yeah.
trafficking, and I mean, it was pivoting, it was not giving up, it was trying out different messages. I know that you had an opportunity with the Victory Cup
Mhm.
breakfast to do some amazing fundraising, and that was maybe the year or so after. I was part of your community who I heard you talking once about how difficult it was to do fundraising. And I challenged you to do some work with me around rewriting your money story and how
Yes.
you had that narrative in your head.
Yeah. Well, but fundraising is still challenging. Just
Yeah, I'm sure it always is. But it was
well,
like you.
and I'm going to say
I was,
selling, and I'm putting that in quotes because I'm not selling anything, but
yeah.
in the give and exchange, technically, where we're asking people to support us to provide life-saving education to help kids, right? So that's really what we're doing. And
Mhm.
you had asked me, how does that happen? How do we do that? So, um, again, it's tenacity. I don't give up. I'm like a dog with a bone. I just don't give up. And I know what's happening to our kids.
Yeah.
I know it, not know it, know it. I feel it. And when we talk to them, it's some of the most heartwarming and heart-wrenching work to do at the same time. And the difference, I tell people, like, I'm not curing cancer. I'm saving lives a different way, right? Because
Mhm.
lifelong trauma is what we're saving our children from. And we're saving families from losing a child, right? It's
Yeah.
just a different way. And so literally I was going to say it was my tenacity and never giving up, hiring the right people so we could get in front of more kids and more parents to have people asking for our education. Because I'm dog with a bone, I'm not letting go. And some of our marketing and some of our advertising, and we do tons of community events to get our name out there in hopes that we'll meet one or two people to be like, hey, you should come talk to my youth group, or hey, you should come talk to my private school, or hey, you should come talk to my parents. And then I created in Florida, I was the Hillsborough School Human Trafficking Task Force. And I'm the only person on the task force that actually works with kids,
Mm.
right? So
Hmm.
they brought me on to give that perspective. Everybody else works with adults and, but we are approved to work with kids. And so over here in Orlando, I was speaking at an event and the moderator totally teed me up with a question that I could actually talk about what I do because it was kind of in my circle, but not really. And one of the school board members was sitting in the second row. And she looked at me, and because I said, I just trained a fifth grade class the day before. And I said, how many of those kids, when I asked them the question, how many of you have gotten either a body part picture or a DM from someone you don't know? I asked the audience at the conference, how many hands do you think went up? Oh, 30%, 50%. I said, how about every single one? And the school
Wow.
board member was like, what?
What?
Right?
Yes.
And so it's putting yourself in places that you might be uncomfortable with, and you're like, I don't, because this was a mental health conference. We intersect it, right? But
Hmm.
I'm not a mental health professional, but I was at the right place at the right time. And so that's why I always say God, it's a puzzle piece that gets put together in ways I don't fully understand. And it took us several years because we applied for grants here in Orange County so many times and we were denied, 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 denied. And then finally we were approved in 2022 for a 2-year grant that was 2023 and 24, two grants actually. And then we applied for another grant for 2024. And so for 2025, so we have a 3-year grant, 2025, 2026, 2027. Then we just applied last year for another 2-year grant. Right. So Orange County has really been our jumping off place. And, we've applied for federal because I'm learning more. I'm learning more how this works. We applied for federal funds. We're going to apply for state appropriations. But all of that's in a learning curve. I couldn't have done that 10 years ago. I would have no way to know or understand what it takes to be included in a community funded project at the federal level.
Mm.
That's not something you just walk in and go do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That is years of building relationships with people in Congress and their staff here, and building relationships with people in the Senate and building relationship with their staff here, right? So they actually
Hmm.
know who you are, what you do, and that you're credible because there
Yeah.
is so much fraud in this space. You have to be
Mm.
able to prove what you're actually doing. So you have to set up systems to prove what you're actually doing and show the data and show the information, right? So there's so much more that goes into this that people don't really fully grasp until you're in it. And then you're like, uh-oh, I better figure something out quick. But in the back is always kids' lives are at stake. I'll work it out.
Mm.
Right. And so we now have a relationship with Orange County Public School System. We work with all the after school programs, Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, After School All Stars, Elevate, Dream Academy, and any other group that wants us to come talk to their kids. We had a call today with one of the Catholic academies here. We're going to come in and train their kids in January. We did like 600 hours of training in October at another Catholic school, right? So once the word's out and they
Mhm.
see the product, people call us and they want us to come back. And we really focus on training seventh graders in middle school
Mm.
for a couple of reasons. I would train every grade if I could and if I had the funding, but I don't, so I don't. Um,
Mhm.
we chose seventh graders strategically because, first of all, they're like the middle kids of the middle school.
Mm.
And they're going to be in that school for the next 2 years. So when I train 250 kids, and we educate them about what human trafficking is, about what extortion is, about what vulnerabilities they have no idea they have, but they do have to
Mhm.
read them with them, that they understand how social media and video gaming and AI can lure them into a life that they would never cognitively choose, that they understand there's actually laws that protect them that they didn't know about.
Mm.
Okay.
Very key.
That's how they get empowered. That's how we alter a system. So when I've got 250 kids that understand that and they
Mhm.
know what to do, they know what actions to take, they know what resources are available to them, I've just empowered an entire community. And those kids will be in that school for 2 years. I don't have to go back for 2 more years.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. So if somebody's listening here and they either know of a school that could use you, or maybe they want to help, give us a little commercial for how somebody,
Sure.
how can somebody help or work with paving the way?
Absolutely. So, really simple. Go to our website, pavingthewayfoundation.org. It's the name's right there.
Paving the Way
Pavingthewayfoundation.org.
Foundation.org.
Very simple. And our website is loaded with information and tools and videos and pieces of information that you can download and take home. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is you can go find us on social media. Okay, we're at Paving W. You're going to put the links in the thing. So, but just the ampersand paving and then the W on
Yes.
Instagram and
And
Facebook.
we're
We
going to have
post.
all of those
Yep.
links in our show
Yep.
notes and our YouTube description.
Yeah.
You can
So,
find
yeah.
Paving the Way on all of the platforms.
So follow us on social media. Because again, we share so much valuable information and we never know what's going to hit who when. So
Mm.
go back all the time. And I tell people often, I don't care if you're a multimillionaire or if you're a brand new mom that, has two nickels to rub together. I always ask people to pray for us. This is a
Mm.
spiritual battle that shows up in the physical realm. So I always want people to pray for us, for us. um, follow us on social media because we have so much information that can make a difference for you. And as a parent or a grandparent or an auntie or an uncle, you can be like, hey, I saw this thing online. So it's not you, it's some expert, right? Now
Uh-huh.
I'm going to send this to you. Tell me what you think about it. So now you're starting a conversation.
Yes.
Three, people can volunteer and even people far, far away can volunteer. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if this has called your heart, if this has pulled at you, we'll send you a whole little packet with our video, talking points, everything. We'll set up a Zoom call so you set you're ready to go. Invite your friends over for pizza on a Friday night. Have your kids' friends come over on a Friday night. Play the video and have a conversation. The video, it's short. The film is short. It's only 30 minutes, 27 actually. So you can play the video, the film does the heavy lifting. And then you can have a discussion afterwards. That would be volunteerism because you're educating your community, right? And then lastly,
Mm.
of course, become a financial champion. We are a 501(c)(3). We do operate on, the generosity of others' hearts and souls. And so people can always make a contribution. We have several giving platforms that, work for everybody. And as a matter of fact, we do little events throughout the year. And in April, we're actually going to do a virtual walk. So people can,
Mm.
do a walk, raise awareness, and get a whole little, get their little neighborhood together and go do a little 2K and come out and talk and be with one another outside where it's beautiful, because by April or May you guys should be beautiful up there, right? Or wherever you are. And talk
June.
about this topic, like really be a part of the solution, because it's the moment we shine a light in the darkness, it's no longer dark. And I just invite
Mm.
people to be that light.
Ah, beautiful, amazing. That's a perfect note to end on. Thank you so much. This was Jan Edwards here with Paving the Way Foundation. You can go to pavingthewayfoundation.org to find out more, to support Jan and all the ways that she just talked about. And I want to just as I'm Kate Phillips, your Vivatude host for Purpose and Prosperity. And I want to just encourage any listeners out there, if there's been something that has been put on your heart, a mission, maybe this particular topic is one that moves you, and you want an organization that you know is doing good work. Maybe it's a completely different mission or passion. Just know that even if you're in the midst of caregiving a loved one, yes, you can follow your intuition, you can follow that calling, you can trust that as you surround yourself with good people, that things will work out. And it's been my joy to support you and see that. I love watching the team grow, learning when the day that I found out you were receiving a salary, I was just like, woohoo! That is so awesome, because you were willing to do the work even when there wasn't the salary. And I think that says something. I think that communicates something to all of the powers that be, and in the real powers that be, whether they're the people around us or the higher powers that be. It's like, I'm putting my money, my life where my mouth is. I really do care about this thing that I am pursuing. Where there is a will, there is a way. And thanks for coming and
Absolutely.
sharing yours.
Thank
This
you.
has been Vivatude. Please subscribe for more inspiring guests and stories. We are here to support you as you are supporting those around you. And we'll see you next time.
And thanks for listening to Vivatude. 4 hosts, 1 each week. We help you revivitude your next chapter, because purpose, passion, and prosperity isn't out there. They're already within you. Brighter, bolder, truer. Vivatude.